Hello everyone and welcome to Word Glow, where stories don't just teach English, they change the way you see your life. This is the story of a man who had nothing. No money, no connections, no special talent, only a quiet pain inside his heart, and a small, dangerous dream. His name was Daniel. Daniel stood alone on a cold street one winter morning. His hands were in his pockets, not because he was relaxed, but because they were empty. He had just lost his job. Again. At that moment, the world didn't see him as important. People walked past him as if he didn't exist, and slowly, he started to believe them. He wasn't just starting from zero, he was starting from less than zero. He was starting from doubt. Part 2. The weight of failure. Failure is heavy. Not in your hands, but in your mind. Daniel had failed many times. He had tried business. It failed. He had tried studying. He quit. He had tried to change his life before, but nothing stayed. Every failure whispered the same sentence. You are not good enough. And the most dangerous moment in any person's life is when they start to agree with that voice. Daniel began to avoid people. He avoided conversations. He avoided opportunities. He avoided mirrors, because mirrors showed him the person he was afraid to face. A man with no progress, no success, no direction. But pain has a strange power. Sometimes pain wakes you up. Part 3. The decision that changed everything. One night, Daniel was sitting alone in his small, dark room. No TV, no music, only silence. And in that silence, he asked himself one question. Is this my final story, or just my first chapter? That question changed something inside him. He realized something important. Nobody was coming to save him. No perfect moment, no perfect help, no perfect conditions. If his life was going to change, he had to change it. So the next morning, Daniel made a decision. Not a loud decision, not an emotional decision, a quiet decision. He decided to stop waiting and start building. Part 4. The slow, invisible progress. Success did not come fast. In fact, nothing happened at first. Daniel started small. He woke up early, he read books, he learned skills, he failed again, but this time, he didn't stop. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Nobody clapped for him. Nobody noticed him. But something was changing, not his money, not his status, his identity. He was no longer a man waiting for life to change. He was a man changing himself. And that is where real success begins. Not outside, inside. Part 5. The moment everything changed 3 years later. Daniel stood in a different place. Not on a cold street, but in his own office. Not with empty hands, but with strong hands. Hands that built something. Hands that refused to quit. He was no longer invisible. People asked him for advice. People respected him. People called him successful, but they didn't see the truth. Success was not built in the moment they saw him. It was built in the moments nobody saw him. In the mornings, he didn't want to wake up. In the nights, he wanted to quit. In the days, he kept going anyway. That is where his real story lived. Part 6. The lesson most people miss here is the truth most people never understand. Starting from zero is not a curse. It is a gift. Because when you start from zero, you learn everything. You build everything. You become everything. Daniel's real success was not money. It was becoming the person he once needed. The person who doesn't quit. The person who doesn't wait. The person who doesn't run from fear. So if you are starting from zero today, remember this. Zero is not the end. Zero is the beginning. The beginning of your real story. Thank you for listening to Word Glow. And never forget, Some of the strongest people in the world are the ones who started with nothing.